Hello everyone, KV here, and welcome to the Sonic Team logo, hooray! Now, we are playing a fairly old game that was released for Steam a little whiles back. It is a pretty big fan of favorites, as far as I understand. This is Nights into Dreams. Originally released on the Sega Saturn, Nights into Dreams is one of those, you hear about this game a lot, but if you haven't played it, you really haven't kind of experienced, there's a really good sense of whimsy to this game, a really good sense of just passion and joy, there's a lot of good stuff going on in this game. It's hard to kind of do it words without actually showcasing it and playing it, so that's what we're going to be doing. As I stated, this is the Steam version, so basically, they released a quote-unquote HD version of Nights into Dreams, which is based off a 2005 PlayStation 2 remake that they actually released in Japan. So that actually gives us access to what's called Brand New Dreams, in addition to the original Sega Saturn Dreams. Hello. Brand New Dreams, what we're going to be playing. I'm going to be taking this I'll be taking this very calmly, very casually. I know I'm kind of usually very informal on this channel as it is, but I think, it's around that time of year. We're just going to have a good, jolly romp, and we're going to ignore the thing that says the thing that's going on right now. The one thing that is really odd about this iteration of Nights is that the cutscenes don't happen when you start the game up. Even if I was to go and make this game completely fresh, if I was to start off, it would just throw me in the stage and not give me any context to what's going on. So I think we should show that off for what's going to be happening. There are 2 playable stories, in a sense, and 6 to 7 stages of this game. So it's a pretty short game, but it's a very fun and very whimsical. So let's go and look at those first cutscene that we want to see, which is this one right here, not the one that's playing there. That's just playing the intro cutscene again. So, let's get that full screened. These are taken, far as I can tell, based on the screen resolution directly from the Sega Saturn, so it's a direct 4x3 ports of that, and yeah. This game was originally in 1997, I believe. Future me can correct me on that. So that kind of, this is over nearly 2 decades old. We thought this was high-tech back then. It still looks pretty cute for what it is, so. Claris is one of 2 main playable characters. She has a dream, and her dream, as you can obviously see, is to sing in this big show coming up. But she has a problem. She has stage fright, don't we all? I love these guys. I don't know. You do a good job, director. Good job. Alright, Claris, you got this. Sing your heart out. Okay, don't sing to that, because that's an evil demon bat. And, okay, well, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, because we actually aren't. Claris was, in fact, dreaming. She was exposed to a nightmare from the nightmare realm, or whatever it's technically called. But thanks to her strong sense of courage, she has appeared in the mystical realm of Nightopia. That's literally the plot. That's what happens. Did you get that out of that cutscene? I bet you did. But let's move on to the actual main game. We'll start off with Claris's first stage in Spring Valley, that I said before he even showed up. The ideal. The stages are what make this game. The story is pretty cute and all that, but the stages are what make this game super fun. One thing I will note, if you have a keen ear and you're actually very used to the Nights games, the music might sound a little different than how it should be. This is something I'll discuss in a little bit. First, I'm going to collect all these blue spheres, because I can. They're points. It's good. It's a 3D platformer game. Clearly, this is how the game is meant to be played. Oh, dear. Believe it or not, this, section right here, these 3D platforming sections that you can play as the human characters for a little bit, this was the basis for the engine for Sonic Adventure, as far as I understand. This is their test to see how Sonic would work in a 3D plane. But that's not what we're supposed to do here. As you see, there's an evil clock demon right there, and if he gets you, you wake up, and we don't want to wake up. We want to fly around with our good pal, Knights. This is the main core of Knights. We play through all these fun little stages. What we play as the great androgynous Knights, a Nightmaren who has decided to rebel against the Nightmare Empire because he likes, or he or she likes, to have fun. And what isn't good? It's always good about having fun. I like fun. Don't you like fun? Fun's good. The goal of every stage is to collect 20 of those blue spheres and take them to one of these cages to free an Ididia, or Ididia, something like that. It's like idea, but it's a pun. There's 5 of them. They represent courage, intelligence, purity, hope, and growth. There we go. Got all of them. Our protagonist only had the Ididia of Courage. She lost the other 4 when we first got in here, so we have to go and retrieve all of them, and then go face off with a terrible nightmare. Yay, sounds fun. But hey, the music's fun. And the main core of Knights is, it's very simplistic, but it's so much fun. You just basically use your joystick to move Knights around. This is one of, there's a specific controller made for the Saturn that had a joystick on it, because this is the entire idea of this game is flights. And it really, as much as it may not look like it, it sure embodies the idea of flight when you're playing as Knights. It's just such a good time. And you can also use the button, which is just the A button in this game, to do a little dash. Otherwise, that's it. Controls are very, very simple. It's a very easy to pick up and play game. The one thing about this game is that you do not have much of a health meter, you instead have a time meter. If that time meter reaches 0, the night is over, and you have to start the stage over again. So, let's not have that happen, and let's move on. You're graded at the end of every mare, as they're called, and though that grade will carry over, you want to get at least a C rank to do well in the game, so we're going to be trying to do our best at that. The last thing to note is the things that's showing up, the links. The links are basically your score. Get more links, get a better score. And that's what we want to do. The bonus time that we had going on earlier after we free the Ididia, that actually gives us a multiplier, so it's actually very handy to us to go around and free those cages as fast as possible so we can have more time to play around before the time gets to the end, so we can get a lot of score. It's a very arcade-like game when it gets down to it, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's such a simple idea, but it's so much fun. I love the backgrounds here. I love, the visuals in this game. I love the art style. Everything is just so much fun about this game. And, yeah, as I said before, this is the brand new Dream section, so we have some updated graphics here and there. That's at least PlayStation 2 quality. For as good as PlayStation 2 can be at some points. Oh, no, don't want to go in there yet. And even some more, we have nice touch to the background. We, of course, have a nice resolution of 16 by 9. Not something I usually care about, but it definitely gives a much better scope of this world. Should you want to, though, if you do have the Steam version of this game, you can play in a Sega Saturn version, where it plays the original Sega Saturn version of the game. The game automatically adjusts the screen to be 4:3, so that is an option as well, but I like the New Dreams version, so we're going to be going with that. So one thing I hinted to earlier as we started the stage, was the music. The music in this game is fantastic. If there's one thing Knights games have been praised for, though 2 of them, is that the music is phenomenal. And this track is no exception that I just ruined because I am doing this fun thing you can do that makes a lot of points. Yay, cool 8. But the music actually holds a very unique trait of this game. There's a lot of interesting things that Sonic Team did in this game that carried over to future games. One notable thing is the A-Life system, which doesn't do a whole lot in this game, but for those who are familiar with the Sonic Adventure games, you know what A-Life became. That's the Chow. A-Life, essentially, these little guys right here that are called Nightopians, they're the citizens of Nightopia. Should you collect them in your Paraloop, which is when you do a loop around, or get a Nightmaren, one of the bad guys that we keep running into, that will, the game will save the data of doing that. That is the game's A-Life system. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but when you're doing that, you're actually influencing how the game acts to that. Sometimes the stage can change up a little bit depending on what you caught and what you have decided not to catch, such as the Nighttopians or Nightmarans. And, more notably, the music. Every stage actually has about a 9-minute long track, and depending on what you've been doing with the A-Life system will depend on which section of that song actually plays in the stage. So that's why when we started the stage off, it may have not sounded like the typical Spring Valley theme, but it's actually part of the full version that you wouldn't hear unless you were using this A-Life system. I'm kind of glad I did not start with a fresh file, because otherwise you wouldn't be hearing some of the really, really good parts of the songs. Some of these songs have fantastic, fantastic melodies, and you do not hear them in the core versions of the song. You hear them in the more full versions, and oh my goodness gracious, I love that piano, just jamming away. Oh, it is just so infectious. Oh, I love the music of this game so much. Alright, and now, with Mare 4 pretty much done, let's get some bonus points. That will be helpful. You want to collect as many bonus points as possible, because that you want to get that C rank. Should you be playing a fresh file, which I'm not doing, I understand. Oops. Which I didn't want to do that, but oh well. Should you be playing a fresh file, in order to advance to the next stage, you do need to get a C rank. So we got a B rank. But that's just the stage. There's one more thing we need to do, and that's a boss fight. Every stage has a boss fight at the end of it, and they can range from being okay to kind of really mean. Gilwing, our first boss here, isn't too bad. Just get behind him and hit his head. Make sure not to hit his mouth because he has teeth, and those hurts. Should you actually get hurt, you will lose 5 seconds of time, and that is precious. You need all the time you can have to fight some of these bosses, so it is not worth getting hit in the slightest. And the faster you beat the bosses will actually determine a multiplier that will go into your score at the end, which will determine your overall grade. So if you take forever on the bosses, you're not going to be getting much of a multiplier. That's why you kind of want to get a lot of score at the stage so you can secure that C rank. And even the boss music is good. This game is made by people who just they have such a passion for what they're doing. And it's such a shame that Sega is more into let's make Sonic everything these days. Because NiGHTS is a fantastic, fantastic game. And we'll get to see more of that as we go into more stages. It may not look the most impressive compared to things on the market these days, but you know, for what it is, and for how, great it feels to play, just the sensation of flight alone makes it a true treasure. And then once we beat the Nightmare boss, we get to this lovely screen, where it just shows us getting hit again, and kind of shows replays. You can't actually input your name, so I don't really know why they have that option to show your name. It just shows NiGHTS. And apparently Sonic, who's terrible at the game. Good job. Good job, Sonic. This track should also sound familiar if you've played Sonic Adventure. This plays in the NiGHTS pinball area in Casinopolis. Anywho's, we're not gonna go and redo that level. We've done Spring Valley, we've seen what's there. And hint, try the bonus, try to defeat the boss as fast as you can, get that multiplier up. Well, that's all for this episode of Let's Play Nights into Dreams. Next time we'll go to Claris's next stage, the forest place that I don't remember the name of. I'm sorry. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I know this series can be a bit more laid back and kind of more casual, even more than usual, so hope you sit back and relax and enjoy more of Nights into Dreams. It's a really fun game. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button below. If you want to see more content from me, please consider subscribing. NiGHTS is available on Steam if you want to get this version of the game. And if you're so crazy, you can go track down a Sega Saturn and try to get the original version. The original version does have some things that are not available in any other releases of the game, so that might be worth it as well. I'll discuss those when we get to those, too. Otherwise, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, ciao!